Thank you to this great church, Pastor Connie Jackson. Thank you for having me again. Thank you to the outstanding panelists, all of them esteemed in their own right, that will get ready to tell you about what it means to be a woman in politics. Judge Kirkland, it is a delight to see you. He knows where to be. He was marching with us in the Women's March. Empowerment and power is what it's all about, is it not? Oh, y'all can do better than that now. The Women's March. We thank Robin and all of her team for the Women's March. We thank all of these women here as well, from Diane to Maria, Marilyn, Carla, and Deidre. Thank you all very much. I will just say a word of instruction, if you will. Let me, first of all, acknowledge those who experienced a catastrophic incident yesterday. Everywhere I go, I make mention of them because it was a miracle. If it had happened at any later time in the Watson tragedy, there would have been a huge loss of life. And so, since we're in a church, I just want to say that God is on the throne, because it could have been where there was enormous loss of life. But when you walked into people's homes and people were still standing, even though the home was like a bomb had hit it just as it had hit Watson Manufacturing, we need to be thanking God for a miracle for the city of Houston, and to keep these families in your prayer. You can do better than that. The only way I know that you're alive is that you're moving your hands. It is a miracle. It could happen to any one of us. And we have to begin to look at the issue of environmental justice and injustice, where these facilities are in the midst of our neighborhoods, and we are not knowing that, and we have to find a way to recognize economic opportunity, but we have to recognize quality of life. And I am saying we are so saddened for those who lost their life, but it is a miracle that there was not a greater loss of life. I came this morning because we were talking about empowerment, and obviously, as I've traveled around, women will acknowledge me. I haven't taken off my tennis sneaker shoes from walking, so please forgive me. But in any event, I listen to women who are still talking about trying to not only knock through the door of opportunity, but to walk through it. And I need to say to all of you, don't be fooled by the examples of leadership and power behind me or myself. We are still not there yet. And as long as we are comfortable with where we are, we will not go further. We will not go where she will need us to go so that the doors are opened. If I'm having conversations about the lack of women on corporate boards, then we're not where we need to be. If we're still talking about the one here and the one here, if I can still be in the United States Congress and go into a meeting and I'm the only one or the only African-American woman in the room, we're still not there yet. And so if you're in a place of employment and you don't think you're where you need to be of all your years of experience, we're not there yet, because someone else is making a judgment other than the judgment of your talent and expertise. If you wear your hair in a certain way and you think you're being responded to in that way because I wear my braids, of which I will continue to wear for a long period of time, then we're not there yet. Women are being discriminated against because of braids. Young boys are being discriminated because of their braids. So I came here today that empowerment means change. And I hope that as you listen this morning that you will be concerned about change. That wherever you are, that you are a change agent. You will use that power. You use the understanding. Women in politics, what does it mean? It is of no avail if we are not changing and making the power for you. If we sit here and realize that the Violence Against Women Act, that has a myriad of different provisions that can help, and it's still not passed because men are in charge of it passing, then we're not making a difference. Then we're not, if we can't pick up a tweet or an email or find the email for Mitch McConnell, who has it sitting on his desk, $291 million to help in domestic violence, one of the most dangerous police calls that law enforcement can ever make, then we're not change makers. We're not using the power of women. We're over 51% of this nation. If after I leave you don't go to Edna, my friend, and say, let me help block walk for her, then we're not we're not changing anything. Or anyone else that's running for office that happens to be a woman. So I'm going to say, I hope that you will give Edna your name so that when we block walk, we can call you. You can put on your sneakers for change. We need women being energized and active. There should be a whole bunch of mothers traveling out to Mount Bellevue because somebody's son is being forced to cut their hair that looks absolutely beautiful. Nothing hard about and inappropriate about his hair, though it happens to be dreadlocks. But it's somebody's son, some mother's son. So I just hope that out of this spirit of empowerment, that there will become change. And as you do that, find your way into campaigns that you will be inspired by and help us. There are people in campaigns in this room. I'm in one with 6 opponents. But I am continuing to work in my district because it's about change and power. Not for me, but for others. So I thank you so very much for giving me this moment to be able to honor you and to remind you historically of the fact of honoring the 100-year of women's right to vote. And certainly black women did not walk in those pathways, but black women were a part of the fight in the name of Sojourner Truth. And so that great, wonderful moment, the moment of us being able to protect our own self and bodies, are reasons for you to fight. And to be reminded, as Sojourner said, ain't I a woman? So I want to honor you. Thank you to the Acres of Angel that are always doing such great work. And if I might have you, Edna, come and receive this Women Empowerment Summit 2020. Along with your other Acres of Angels wearing the t-shirts. They can come out of their chairs and move quickly so that we can present this to you. Thank you for your work. We appreciate it. Am I going to get some block walkers out of this room? Anybody? Am I going to get some block walkers? Anybody raising their hand? Let me see some hands. All right. All right. There's 1 or 2. That's good. We will love that. That's all right. So, it is my privilege to salute the Acres of Angels that are symbolic of foot walkers, feet walkers, hand holders, huggers, game changers, and great hearts to make a difference in our community. Give them a very big hand. They put this on every year. They do the diabetes walk. They just do a whole bunch of things. Is that all right?